What's up, Fantasyland? This is episode 2, Couch's Corner. Sorry I didn't get last night done. I just got too tired and I didn't get to it. So those are the breaks. Sorry, Rhino. I hope you slept all right. But I'll get to it tonight. Hopefully get through them a little quicker. Some of the teams have time to edit it tonight and not screw up as much so I can just post it and not have to edit too much crap out. So it takes me longer when I have to fix my own mistakes. So we'll get to it here. Here's again the power rankings we got through for League, Americans, No Name. Today we will go through Bucketless, Prestige, Makes Sense, and we'll see where we are after that if we get to Tom Selleck Stash. So loved the comments yesterday. I thought it was I rambled on for a little while and I got a couple of the trades mixed up, so I hope you guys can forgive me for that and try to get them right now. Rhino sent me the list here. I'll post that too next time we go over the teams. But yeah, so far I like our first three teams we did, and I think they have potential. Like I said, I don't think Frolik is going to be last place. Americans, No Name, I think are going to be active enough to get out of the basement too. So we'll see. I think everyone's active in this league now, so it kind of puts everyone on an even playing field, and I don't think we have any freebies. So we'll see. It's going to be a battle, and I love it though. So next up is Bucketless Disciples. I will go over his keepers. I have him right here now. And he has some really good keepers, just didn't keep a lot of them, which is fine. That was his strategy last year as well. He only kept one extra, I believe 5 last year. He's got 4 this year, but they're very strong ones. So we'll see if he can build his team in the draft, if he's doing his research, and go from there. So first of all, we'll go over his keepers. He's got Sid the Kid, Giroux, Kessel, Rask, like I said, pretty top-end guys. Just not a lot, but that means he's going to be able to draft a lot. And I think there is a healthy amount of players left in our draft to build a team around. So we'll see how he does in the draft, if he addresses some needs. But first, we'll go over Crosby. You got centers taken care of pretty well here. I think you got Crosby, Giroux, 2 elite centers. Arguably 2 top 10 guys in our league, and first rounders perhaps. So when you got 2 guys that possibly could go in the first round already, you got to think you're doing better than some other teams already, because if you got 2 of them, that means someone else doesn't have maybe a premium guy that would have went in the first round. I think Giroux is a little bit on the fence, but I think he's close, man. I really do, and I think Kessel, the way he puts up numbers and the way he shoots the puck in our league is he's a pretty valuable guy to have as a right winger. And then you got Tuukka Rask, who is clearly a starting goalie, and I know Ben loves that guy on the Bruins. So you have a lot of work to do, my friend Gaudier. But if you build your team around those 2 elite centers and Kessel, that's a strong start. Defense, you're gonna have some work to do. I do notice you had Dougie on your team, Dougie Hamilton. So I'm curious. Let me go check now that I got the updated list, if I can find him quick enough. Because you must have traded Hamilton, and that might have been in the Rask trade. And I think that might be... Yeah, it is. Tom Selleck Stash picked up Hamilton. So that's all correct. So 4 keepers. Like I said, definitely have a lot of work to do. But do a lot of research around who's available in the draft. You need to get D. You need to get young D for your team. A goalie for sure. 1. You're going to need a backup 2. So there's 2 slots right there. So I really think early on in the draft, first round, take the best D you can. Maybe take a goalie if you can get your hands on Bishop first round. There is a few D out there too that I like, so I'll let you do some research. I don't want to kind of show all my cards and tell you what I would pick in your spot, because you're ahead of me in the draft, so I want to take that D possibly. So fairly good team, but like I said, if you don't do your research here and build a solid squad with our stat categories, you're going to be in trouble. But if you can turn either... I know you like to deal Crosby, he's always on the table, but I think he's going to have a big year, man. He had almost 400 points last year, and I would consider that almost an off year for Crosby. A little bit of the Stanley Cup hangover, I think, but you never have to worry with that guy. I know he had a rough patch last year for about 3-4 weeks, and then he just turned it up again. So we'll see. And I think a lot will depend on Giroux if he can go back-to-back with big seasons, and if that power play stays the same. But I mean, I wouldn't be shy to have him on my team at all. And Kessel's another guy that's just dependable. He's going to shoot the puck. He's going to shoot it a ton on the top power play. So he's going to get some assists. He's going to get some goals. I mean, he does a lot of stuff good. So, yeah, good start. A lot of work to do, though. So have a big draft, and you should be okay. If you have a bad draft, I'd be nervous if I were you. But I have no doubt you stay on top of stuff, so we'll see what you do. I wouldn't make any big trades unless you're going to spin Crosby into a couple players. I don't think you're going to get the value you want for Giroux if you try to deal him. And Kessel, I just hang on to that guy because he's a good fantasy player. So work on your D, build off Rask, and build that a good core on your goalie slots, and play all your games and see what happens. So there's Gaudier's team. Not a lot to talk about just because there's not a ton of keepers there, but good start. You just build around it. Next we got on the power rankings. We got Prestige Worldwide. I kind of like this team, man. I was looking at this earlier. Prestige Worldwide is another guy that he'll take it very serious. He doesn't want to lose, that's for sure. And I think he's got a team here that if some of his players can repeat their performance from last year, he's looking good. And if a few guys can step it up and kind of have breakthrough seasons, this team could get scary. And again, it'll depend on a lot with the draft. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 keepers. So he's got 9 slots to fill. I'll go over his keepers here. You got Carter, Panarin, Point, Carlson, that's William Carlson, Jeff Skinner, Ovi, Radulov, Yossi, Pietrangelo, Werenski, and then you got Anderson in net. So again, you got one goalie, which I think is fine, and I think Anderson's an elite goalie. You could spin him because there's a bunch of guys that love the Leafs, so you could get rid of him, but I honestly wouldn't, just because I know he gets a ton of starts, and with Babcock at the helm there in Toronto, they're going to be good defensively, picking up Tavares. So they got back-to-back elite centers in Tavares, Matthews, where D are going to have a tough time matching up and forward lines against them. So they should be good offensively, which usually translates into wins, and like they say, good offense is the best defense, and that will help Anderson a lot get wins, couple shutouts probably, with probably not a ton of shots all the time, but it will help you that the Leafs have the worst D ever in history, that they might give up a few shots. But definitely like Anderson is your goalie. You're going to need to obviously fill those gaps, get another starter, and then maybe a backup late rounds, but pretty good there. I like Jeff Carter at center. Let me just pull up your team here on this site. And so you got Jeff Carter center. You got elite left wingers, I would say. Ovechkin, Panarin. I thought Panarin would be a lot worse getting traded from the Blackhawks and not being on that line with Kane, but he's proven he's a legit talent. Really good, solid guy. I think I just got an update on my phone saying Tavares scored already in the Expedition game, so I won't get off track, but I'm pretty sure I just saw that. One guy I love, and I think is underrated, is Alexander Radulov for Dallas, playing right wing on that top line with Sagan and Ben. I mean, that's got to be one of the best lines in the league. And I heard this little excerpt from their coach there, and actually, the new coach for Dallas is Jim Montgomery, who played for the Pembroke Lumber Kings, played for the University of Maine. So there's a lot of ties there from our local circle, playing at Maine and in Pembroke. And I know he played with Paul Kariya his freshman year. And if you have never seen this, check out Into the Woods Maine Hockey. It's about the 93 championship team with Kariya on it, and it shows Montgomery all behind the scenes. It's pretty wicked. So check that out if you haven't seen it yet. And it shows a lot about Montgomery. But back to Radulov. Montgomery said he the first exhibition game he saw him, and he goes, he was beaking the refs, he was energetic, he was hitting, he was mixing it up with players, and he goes, he was worth the price of admission, just Radulov alone. So it sounds like the coach likes him there, which is always a good sign for a player. And to be on the top line doesn't hurt. And I really think, from what I know, and I don't know him that well, is Montgomery is a real players coach, and he's going to let these guys play. And when you got guys like Ben, Sagan, and Radulov that are kind of, I don't want to say like wild guys, but you can tell they're on their own page, and they don't like really strict defensive zone coverage and a strict coach that's going to, make them hold their stick a little too tight. I feel like he's going to let these guys go, and it's going to pay off big time because they're just pure offense. They got to just run and gun and light it up. So I like Radulov a lot. William Karlsson is terrible. He's had a big year, but he'll suck. So just trade him to my team and just get rid of him. Sell him high to me and get him off your hands. Simple, easy peasy. Obviously, I'm joking, but Karlsson, I don't think it was a fluke. I know they've had one exhibition game where Marchessault and Karlsson played together. They didn't have Smith on their line, but scored. I know Marchessault had a couple goals. Karlsson had a goal and an assist. So it looks like it wasn't a fluke, and I feel like that's some serious chemistry there. In Vegas, they said already the first exhibition game was sold out. Felt like a playoff game in an exhibition game. So I mean, they're still riding high here. They're not letting go, and the hype. It's going to be a little less, I would assume, but you never know, man. It sounds like they're crazy there. If they're packing the rink and going nuts in the exhibition games already. Players, their top guns are already lighting it up. It looks good. They won 7-2 their first game. So look out for them, man. And I love Karlsson. I know it'll be tough for me to get him on my team unless I trade him Burns. I'll need to be super drunk one night, and after he scores a hat trick, and I'll give you Burns. But it's probably not going to happen. Braden Point's another guy I really like, the center for Tampa. Clearly they have that top line in Stamkos, Kucherov, and I don't know who they have on the wing there. It kind of mixes up. But Point's one of those guys that when you have a strong line like that, you got to play your best defensive players against them when you're playing them. Usually your best defense have to go up. Your best defensive defense have to go up against Stamkos. So Braden Point gets to kind of go in there and play against their second, third line. The fourth, fifth, sixth defenseman. And he takes advantage. He's super talented. He's going to get lots of power play time, probably some on the first. And Tampa's so strong that their second PP unit's almost as good as their first. But I love him too. So that's another center, though. That's another... no, it's only your first center. So you're all right there. Karlsson has center left wing. Left wing again for Skinner. Jeff Skinner looks good already. I'm watching the Buffalo game right now, actually. And that line, I think there's a lot of hype with Buffalo. They're young. They're going to be offensive. So in our league where plus minus doesn't count, he was minus 27 last year. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. So he could be the worst defensive player. And I think on Buffalo, if he plays on that first line, first PP unit, he had 24 goals last year on a crap team and just not feeling it. I remember last year, I don't even think he played first line, first power play much. So he's getting the chance this year to kind of have a breakthrough season. And I think he's a solid candidate to get 30-plus goals. He's had 277 shots last year. And I think he'll up that, man. So he shoots the puck a ton. He's got a great shot. So watch out for him. I like him. I think he's going to be a sleeper, and I'm glad you kept him because if he was in the draft, I think he would have went early to some people that done their research, and you would have regretted it. So good keep on Skinner, I think. Jeff Carter is always a beauty. I don't know how many games he played last year. It was barely any, and he was scoring a ton. So Jeff Carter, if he stays healthy, in LA, I think their team's, again, going to be strong. If you can go back-to-back, Kopitar and then Carter, first power play, he'll be on the first power play. And again, that guy just shoots a ton, has a knocked around the net, so he's a natural goal scorer, and in our league, that's so valuable. So look for Carter. Hopefully he stays healthy. I know he's your boy. I think you have his jersey from a past league, so I'm pumped for him in this year. I actually cheer for Carter. I think he's pretty cool. Gensel, again, another candidate for a breakout season. And this is why I'm saying Prestige Worldwide is dangerous. Because of some of these guys just have breakout seasons. And you have Panarin candidate, Radulov candidate, Carlson, if you can keep it up, is a premium player. Point, if you just stay consistent, which I think he will. Skinner could have a breakthrough season. Carter, another one. Gensel, another one. I mean, the upside for all your players is huge. So I think you're looking like you're in good shape. I'm just going to see here if you traded anyone that I missed. Yossi you got, which is this outstanding guy to have on your decor with Pietrangelo that averages over 4 points a game. And I got rid of him, but I'm happy with a return on that. But again, another solid D. And I think it's important, guys, that sometimes you have to give up a forward to get maybe a little less points per game to get a defenseman, because they're more rare. And forwards are less rare. I guess that's a pretty simple way to put it. And there's so many talented forwards that are scoring a ton that D are harder to come by. So when you gave up Pietrangelo for, I think at that time it was, who did I pick up? Forsberg, I think. It started off with Panarin, Forsberg, and then I think you traded back Panarin. I forget how it all went, but it was all crazy. So he's another just two solid D in Yossi, Pietrangelo, and Werenski is another guy on a solid Columbus group this year. I think that if he plays first power play, stays healthy, he shoots a ton. And again, another candidate for a breakout season, and he could easily end up top 10 defense in scoring in our fantasy league. So people that are putting Prestige Worldwide this low on their power rankings, I think should be a little scared of that team, just because if the stars align, that team could, I mean, it could win. It could win, at least be in the money. Again, it'll depend on his draft. If he has a solid draft, he can pick up a goalie. He's going to need to be on the waiver wire. So if a goalie goes down, he's there to pick it up. You need to do that at least once or twice. That's why D. Lionel does so well. A goalie goes down, he's got the backup within 10 minutes. So you need to be there within 5 minutes. And hopefully he's working or having sex or doing something where he can't get to it. But you got to be on it. You got to be on the ball, because guys don't mess around. And that's the type of team that if you want to win, you definitely have the potential. If you have a strong draft, fill some of those gaps with the goalie, a couple more D. Your forwards are super strong. Look out for Prestige Worldwide. Mariner, great team, great keepers. Good luck in the draft, my friend. All right, next on the power rankings. We're zipping through, guys, because we're going to get through some teams, so I might get to Tom Selleck. Oh, the big one. I love this team. MakeSENSE. What a change in his team from one massive trade, and it's still up there. My boy Carlson. Sorry, Cor, man. I know it sucks that he's not going to wear that jersey anymore. But fantasy-wise, you should be doing cartwheels, because his fantasy value, all the experts, all the analysis have him ranked number one now, past Burns as the best fantasy D option. And I don't disagree. I mean, I can only imagine what this guy's going to do with just a solid core. And opposed to, and I'm kind of glad he didn't go to Vegas. I know he was... there was some talk about him going to Vegas. I like that they got Pacioretty instead. We could talk about that another time. But for Carlson to go to San Jose on just an explosive team that's just solid already. It's got its structure. Sorry about that, guys. My phone filled up with data. So back to Carlson, though. Yeah, like I was saying, Carlson on San Jose with, first of all, the power play. Second of all, that first line with Pavelski, now Kane. Thornton looks like he's healthy, so he dishes. Burns and Carlson. I mean, you got Couture, Hurdle. I just think this guy is going to have a breakout season for Carlson. That's kind of crazy to say, but I think he's going to score a lot more. I think Burns is going to score. If you think of San Jose now, and these guys average almost 30 minutes a game between Burns and Carlson, give or take. Your San Jose at all times will either have Burns on the ice or Carlson on the ice. It sucks if you're a D man on that team. You're not going to get a ton of ice or a ton of power play time, because I know Burns doesn't get off the ice and I know Carlson doesn't get off the ice. So they're basically going to be playing 2 minutes of power play each. I pray they don't split them up for some crazy reason. I just can't imagine it, because they won't get enough power play time each. So I hope it doesn't hurt Burns' fantasy value, and I hope it just increases it, because he'll get the puck a lot more on that power play. It could take away from it a little bit, just because Carlson likes to stay on the ice for 2-3 minutes at a time. But hopefully they'll get that squared away and they just connect and love life. But yeah, we'll see. I love that though. And let's see who else you got. All right, so now we talked about Carlson. We can get to the rest of the team, but I mean, this is another super scary team, man. And McDavid, Malkin, Bergeron, Erik Karlsson, Quick, Jones, Monahan, Backstrom are his keepers. I think everyone knows, and I think I addressed this to Corey, what the problem is here is that he has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of your keepers, Corey, are just center eligible. So that is a major issue you're going to have to resolve. 2 fantastic goalies to have as keepers, Quick and Jones. Especially Jones this year, I think is going to be amazing. And same with Quick, I think is really good. So goalies are covered. D, Carlson, you got that, and that's it. But I mean, that's one of the strongest D. You got to spin one of these centers into just an unreal defenseman, and you got the firepower to do it. So you got McDavid, you're not trading. Sorry about that. McDavid, you're not trading. Malkin, you express interest on. Bergeron has injury problems. I don't mind getting rid of him. If he stays healthy, though, Bergeron's so good, man. He just hasn't stayed healthy very much. So I'm not sure what your plan is. I don't think you're going to get a lot of value for Monahan or Backstrom. I regret kind of just tossing Backstrom away. I think I was just angry at him for some reason, but I like him a lot, and Kuznetsov kind of took his role on that top line. So I'll be interested to see what you do, Corey, because you have the building blocks, and I think if you trade smart and unload one of these centers for premium D, I mean, I like Malkin a lot too, so I don't like getting rid of him, but you could get a lot for Malkin. I know I have expressed interest, and I still am interested. If you ever want to talk shop about Malkin, Bergeron's another guy I think you would have no problem turning that into something good with all the Bruins fans around. And then that kind of takes away that injury liability from him, and, roll the dice that he doesn't stay healthy for the full year. But that's an issue you got to address, man. You don't have any winger keepers. You have one D keeper. So you're all set at center, and in goalie, you're super strong. So your draft's going to be important, and you're going to need to trade up here, or else your center games are just going to go through like crazy. You're not going to get enough value from them at the end of the year because they're used up, and you're not going to have enough winger games that are quality to go for the win. So it's not, you can't win, you just need to do some stuff to make sure you kind of fill those gaps. But I mean, if on paper, amazing keepers, when you look at the position, you got some work to do. So that is MakeSense. We did MakeSense, Bucketless, Disciples, and Prestige Worldwide. I'm going to take a quick breather. I'm going to get this up online in the next 10 minutes. Quick edit because I didn't screw up too badly. And then I'm going to charge my phone because it's dying too. I'm trying my best here. I'm just came running down here to do this because I know Rhino's going to have withdrawals. So cheers, boys. Have a beer. I hope you're watching some of the exhibition games, and I'm watching some of the Buffalo game right now, and Eichel just scored. So they're looking good, kind of as advertised. So let's enjoy some preseason, do your research, and I hope you enjoyed the episode. I'll probably be back to do just a whole episode on the debacle of Tom Selleck Stash's keeper team. So I stick around for that. That could take an hour. So cheers, boys. I'll see you in a bit.